Hey there, superstar. Welcome to How Much Do Mastermind Groups Cost? This video, I'm going to talk about some of the ranges in cost and typical costs for different types of masterminds. I'm also going to talk a little bit about masterminds as a business model, if that's something that you might be interested in. I'll share some thoughts about creating your own mastermind. And finally, I'm going to share a free resource that I created that may help you if you want to explore the idea of doing your own mastermind. Here we go. So I'm going to assume for the purposes of this video that you already know what a mastermind is. And if you want to learn more about that, then I have linked to a playlist below that is all about masterminds, where I answer the question, what is a mastermind group? Now, mastermind groups can vary in price, all the way from free to tens of thousands of dollars, if not even hundreds of thousands of dollars on the highest end. Now, here's the important thing to remember about a mastermind. What gives a mastermind its value primarily is who is in the group. Who are the people you'll be masterminding with? For that purpose, it doesn't really matter how much the mastermind group costs sometimes. Now, generally speaking, as with many things in life, the lower you pay for something, the less valuable it is, and the higher you pay for something, the more valuable it is, generally speaking. But with mastermind groups, what I've witnessed, and I know a lot about this topic because I lead them, I teach them, I have tons of videos about them. Like, this is the world that the sea that I swim in. A lot of masterminds, because it's about who's in them, there are some excellent quality masterminds that have no fee. And that's because they are invite only. So it can be very difficult to get into one of these mastermind groups that are very high quality and very low fee or no fee. And so my advice would be, if you're thinking about getting into a mastermind, or if you're curious about that, then I would look for basically where are the people that you want to be with? Where are the people that can most serve and support you and your business? Who are the people in your industry, in your field, who are operating at the highest level? And is there already a mastermind that you can get yourself into or invited to? So that would be like a number one strategy. And if that's not available to you, as it wasn't for me in my industry, in the speaking industry, there's an absolutely incredible speakers mastermind that one of these days I hope to get invited into, but I'm not. And so in the meantime, I have paid to participate in several masterminds that have been excellent and outstanding. So let's talk about how much do those cost. So generally speaking, a really good high quality mastermind that's paid is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of about $10,000 to about $30,000 a year. I know that can sound like a lot. And if you think about it from the perspective of the value, any great mastermind with a really great group of people is going to generate much, much more ROI or value from that investment than what you pay in. So if you know that you're in with the right people and it's led by somebody you trust, then that's a really reasonable number to pay. And in fact, my mastermind costs a little bit more than that, the one that I run and lead, which may have you inspired to ask, what would it look like to run a mastermind? Now, if you want to have an incredible group of people and you want to mastermind with them, I invite you to consider putting together your own mastermind, maybe even monetizing it and making money from it, because it's a great way to generate revenues and to add value without a ton of work. So let me dive into that in a moment. Before I do, I want to invite you to take a moment here to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'd love to hear about your mastermind experience below. Okay, so let's talk about this idea of maybe creating a mastermind, maybe even monetizing it for yourself. The first thing I would look at is, do you have the relationships to find at least a group of people, maybe 5, 10 people that would be a good fit to work together. In fact, I think kind of a really nice sweet spot to start a mastermind from scratch is about 6 to 8 people. I think that's a good variety of different opinions and perspectives, and not too big that you would need too much time to actually go through a mastermind with each of these people. And by the way, I'm not going to talk about mastermind structure or format, but I do have videos about that I'm going to link to, how to structure a mastermind, how to create one, how to organize it, more of the logistical side. But on this front, I want to invite you to consider creating your own, ideally paid mastermind so that you can generate revenues. If you've got a Rolodex of a handful of people in your industry that are really wanting and able to add value and support each other, then I recommend reaching out to them and just saying, hey, if I were to put something like this together, would you be interested? And then a follow-up question might be, and if there were a fee attached to it, would you be willing to pay for that? And basically show your cards up front, like enroll them into the vision that you have and see if they'd be interested in ponying up and paying into this opportunity. And if there is, you can start to put together this initial group. This could be a nice little source of income, and it could grow into something really powerful and meaningful. Let me share my story of how I created my mastermind. It's now been around, it's in its 8th year now, and it's very stable, very successful. Most of our clients stay for multiple years. They enroll for that first year, and then they usually enroll after that first year. Everybody enrolls for 2 more years, or we complete them and let them go. But these days, about 75% of our clients are staying for multi-year agreements. And the way I started it was much how I'm advising that you can do it. I basically went to my existing clients. Now, the reason I think that was really a smart way to start was because they were already paying me something. So what I did was I went to my existing clients and I said, hey, I have this vision. I have an idea of a mastermind group where I would lead it, and essentially we would get together this many times a year. We would mastermind, we would share best practices, and there would be a fee involved. Would you be interested in that? And if so, this is when I think we would start. We would start on this day. And I gave them an opportunity to say yes at a much lower rate than I was going to launch it out into the world. Why? Because they were already paying me a good amount of money for one-on-one coaching. And I thought it's in my best interest to get them into this mastermind program, because eventually that's going to make it grow. Like if I have really good people in there, then that seeds the mastermind and it attracts other really good people. So I enrolled those 4 people. Ultimately, none of them lasted after the first year, which was fine. It was disappointing for me, but they did their job. They were the people that gave me that initial group to start with, and ultimately it gave me enough critical mass to be able to attract more people and even retain some of them. I even have the 4th client that I ever enrolled into that mastermind is still with me to this day. So it really served a purpose to start with those the people that I already knew. And so that's what I invite you to do. Consider who you already know, especially who's already paying you. They might be more likely to say yes to this new thing that you're creating. And if you want to go deeper into the topic of how to start a mastermind, how to launch it, how to get paid for it, I have so many videos on that. I love masterminds. It's an amazing business model. It's very inspiring. It's fulfilling. It's fun. I just think it's the perfect model. So like I promised at the beginning of this video, I was going to give you a resource. So the resource is actually a revenue map to see how you can drive revenues from a mastermind. Now, here's the thing. I have the revenue map. I give it away when you download my Retreats to Riches roadmap. So go to retreatstorichesroadmap.com. Go ahead and fill out your email. You're going to get the roadmap, which is maybe not what you want. But in the email that delivers the roadmap, you're also going to get my revenue, my big back end revenue projection map as well. And that way you're going to be able to see how your monthly recurring revenues get built up when you have a mastermind, when you have a group mastermind program where people are paying you every month. All right, so enjoy that. Good luck, and let me know how I can support you down below in the comments.